Hey YouTube, welcome back. This is Nerdy Pastor. My name's Levi. Welcome if you haven't been here with me before. Sorry it's been a while since I've recorded. I've had a lot going on, really busy. It's getting close to the Christmas season and Thanksgiving, so it's going to be kind of hit and miss with me recording. Got a lot of family, got to visit, and this and that, but I wanted to bring to you another video. This is going to be another top 10. This top 10 is going to be top 10 games that I want to play. Now, my previous top 10 was top 10 games I want to buy. Now, you might think those are the same kind of list, but the 10 games that I want to buy are ones that I've researched a lot and I'll know I'll like without having to play them. But these 10 games here are games that I want to buy, but I really need to play them first to really see if I'll like them. I don't want to blindly buy anything. I've done that in the past, and it's kind of been bad. One of the things that I've blindly bought is Small World. If you ever played that? It's a fun game, but I didn't play it beforehand. I just saw a bunch of videos on it. It looked fun, bought it, and I liked it, but nobody that I played with likes it. So it was kind of a hit and miss there. So I don't want to make that mistake again and just buy something that nobody wants to play. So these games, I've done some research on them. They look fun, but I need to play them before I actually jump into them. I have 2 games on my honorable mentions list. These are some games that I've heard good things about, but I just don't know how they'll play, if I'll enjoy the mechanics enough to even try to play them. So they're kind of on the fence, so I just wanted to mention them here. The first one is Time Stories. This is a game, you play through this story. I'm not 100% sure how to play it exactly, but you play through this story, kind of a time-traveling game. Mystery, solving a mystery. It looks kind of fun, but I don't understand, I guess, the mechanics enough to even attempt to play this game or try it. The base game is $42, and each expansion is $23. So once you play through that first game, it seems like you have to buy each expansion to get a different experience, and I don't feel like spending $23 every time if the game's not even really good. So I don't want to buy it if it's not going to be any good. So it's kind of on the fence. Second game on my honorable mentions list is Treasure Island. This game looks quite fun. It's a hidden, kind of a hidden movement, not really, deduction game where one person is Robinson Crusoe, I think, or a pirate of some sort, and you choose a location on the map to bury your treasure. And I think you have 10 turns or so until you can get out of jail and go get your treasure. But while that 10 turns is happening, the other players are trying to find your treasure. And so they'll use the game board. I think they can ride on the game board, if I'm not mistaken. Or they have their own player mats that they can ride on. I can't remember. But you use these dry erase markers and you do a search location. Hey, is your treasure in this spot? And then you draw a line. Okay, I want to move this way. And it just looks really fun and different how you can just ride on the board and search for the treasure. That seems really fun. But then again, it looks fun, but is it actually fun? Does it play fun? So I'm on a fence there. So those are top 2 or honorable mentions. Top 2 honorable mentions that games I want to buy or play, maybe buy, I don't know. But let's get into it. My top 10 games I want to play. Number 10 is a game called Robinson Crusoe. Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe. So this game is a game where you're stuck on an island. If you know the story of Robinson, you got to learn to survive, different things like that. It's kind of a game where I think you build a deck as well, and you just try to find supplies and just survive and survive and survive. While this is on my 10 games I want to play, opposed to games I want to buy, is that I'm not sure if I want this game for how brutal it is. All the reviews I've seen on this game say that the game itself is brutal and it is hard to beat. And I don't know if I want a game that is really hard to beat, because I saw like somebody say that, okay, out of 10 games you play, you'll win 3 if you're lucky. Now, I don't know if I want a game where I can't beat it. I know I'll probably be able to beat it eventually, but I think losing so many times will really turn me off. That kind of happened with me. I blindly bought this game called Eldritch Horror, and I played it like 3 times and never beat it. And so I haven't played it since. That was like 4 years ago. So I really love games that are fun and have a little bit of challenge, but I can still beat them. I don't want a game that it takes me 10 games to even beat it. So I want to try this game out, Robinson Crusoe, see how it plays and see if it's actually as difficult as everybody says, and if it is any fun. If it's really, 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 really fun and hard to beat, I might consider it. That's my number 10, Robinson Crusoe. Number 9 for games that I want to play is Mage Knight. Now, I've heard nothing but good reviews about this game, how it's the best solo game experience out there. And I'm all for that. I'm always looking for a good solo game because a lot of times nobody wants to play with me. So this game seems right up my alley. It's got deck building, adventure. I really enjoy those two. But I hear that like even a solo play takes about 3 hours. And it's got a lot of setup too. So I don't know if I have the time for that long of a game. It sounds really, really fun, and I want to try it. That's why it's on my number 9 to play list. It's got everything I want in a game, but is it too long? I don't know. I'll just have to play it and see. Well, that's number 9, Mage Knight. Number 8 on the list of games I want to play is Anachrony. Now, Anachrony looks like a really fun game. It's got time travel in it. That's the main kind of mechanic in it, where you're doing something and then you borrow supplies from yourself from the future. And I just find that concept of time travel really fascinating, and putting it in a game, that's even more cool. So like you need 2, I don't know if these supplies are in the game, but you need 2 wood, but you can't do what you want to do, and so you're like, okay, I'm gonna borrow from my future self, get 2 wood now, and then 2 turns down the line, you have to repay that wood. It's almost like an investment or getting a loan. You got to pay it back eventually. If not, you'll suffer consequences, I think. So this game, I really want to try. It looks a little heavy. That's the only reason it's kind of on the playlist opposed to the buy list. I like heavier games, but the people I play with kind of shy away from the heavy stuff. So I want to try this game out first before I blindly buy it. That's number 8, Anachrony. Alright, so number 7 is Project Elite. Now this game looks really fun. It's a, what do you call it? A real-time game where you flip over an hourglass and you have that much time to do your actions. But you are, I think, I don't know, you're people, but you're fighting against aliens. Aliens are trying to invade, and you're trying to outlast and kill everything off, and you do that for each round. You roll dice, and you take out aliens, and you're all playing at the same time. So everybody's rolling dice, everybody's taking out aliens, and it just looks really hectic and really fun. And I really want to try this game. It looks fun. I saw the Dice Tower play through this, and it looked hilariously fun. But one of the things that's shying me away from it is it's $100. So I don't know if I want to spend that much money for a game that I might not like. I know on my to-buy list I put Everdell. It was $100. I've done a lot of research on it, and it's got everything going for it that I want in a game, and I believe it's not that heavy, so I think other people like it. But Project Elite, it's about aliens, and it's got a few mechanisms that my game group's probably not familiar with, so I don't know how they'll take it, if they'll like it. So I just don't want to blindly buy this game. So it's my number 7 on games to play. Number 6 on the games to play is Tapestry. Now, Tapestry is another game from the same creators as Scythe. That's Jamie Stegmaier, and it's a city building or a society building. It's kind of like Civilization, where you're building up through the ages, kind of like that. I really want a game that has that mechanism in it. When this first came out, it looked really fun, but then as I went on to see other reviews, it kind of turned me off a little bit. Some people said, "Oh, it's not that fun. It takes too long." It kind of dwindled down in everybody's expectations, and I don't know. It had a lot of hype to it, and it got me hyped. But then it came out, and some people kind of said it wasn't very fun, and so it kind of got me on the downhill. So I've had both ends of the spectrum, like, oh, I really want to buy it, play it, yeah, but it's like, oh, maybe not. So it's number 6, because I need to play this game. It looks really fun. I want to try it, but I don't want to blindly buy it, because now that I've seen some negative reviews, I'm going to hold off and just play it before I buy it. So number 5 on this list is a game that was kind of hard to find cheap, I guess, but by the time making this list, they came out with a Kickstarter, and it's a Kickstarter for the expansion, but that you can buy the base game in it as well, and it's like half the price is what you can find it now. So it's Atlantis Rising is my number 5. This game looks really fun. It's about saving Atlantis before it's lost forever. So it's a worker placement game, and you have Atlantis in the middle of the board, and then you have extensions or arms that build off of Atlantis. And ever so often, you'll have to flip over the ends of the arms over, and it looks like it's flooding. And it's getting closer and closer to Atlantis, where Atlantis will inevitably be flooded and lost forever. And it just looks really fun racing against the clock. I really wanted to buy this and play it, but it's been like $130 like on Amazon for, I don't know, a few months now, and I just haven't I don't have that kind of money just to buy games, you know. And so I've been waiting for it to come down, but finally it's on Kickstarter now. And so it's like $60 for the base game, I think. So I might snatch that up pretty quick. And the expansion looks kind of cool too. They're adding monsters where they can be used as allies or enemies. I don't know. I have to look more into that. But now Kickstarter, I've backed a few games on Kickstarter, and it's kind of a, I don't know. It's hard for me now to back stuff on Kickstarter because I'm watching the clock. It's like, okay, 14 days left, 10 days left. It's like, ugh. Like, I really want these games, but like, am I just really wanting them because they're about to be gone soon, or I really want to play them? So I think Kickstarter, it's got a good hook to it for sure for Kickstarters. And so I might back this, I might not. I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think about Kickstarter and all that? Put your comments down below and let's talk about it. That's number 5 games I want to play before I buy them. That's Atlantis Rising. Alright, my number 4 is actually 2 games. I kind of did this on the last list about the same IPs. I'm going to do that this time too for my number 4. It's the same IP for the game. And the reason I want to play them before I buy them is because of the IP. Because I'm a big Star Wars fan, but my wife is not, and that's who usually plays with me. And so games about Star Wars, I don't know if she'll play them with me or not. If they're really fun and got good mechanics to them, she might consider it. But see, I don't want to blindly buy something if she's not going to play with me. So the 2 games are Star Wars Rebellion and Star Wars Outer Rim. Now, Star Wars Rebellion looks like a pretty big, massive game. It's a hidden movement game, sort of. One person is the rebels, and one side is the Empire. And as the rebels, you pick a place or a planet to hide on. And the Empire just keeps trying to find you, and all the while, you guys are building up your forces to fight against each other. And eventually, the Empire will find you, and then you guys duke it out, pretty much. That looks pretty fun. The other one, Star Wars Outer Rim, looks, I'm not going to say a better game, but a better game for my wife and me. Because it doesn't seem like that heavy of Star Wars, per se. But it's got a lot of Star Wars in it, where you're a bounty hunter, you're traveling across the Outer Rim, and you're completing missions, collecting stuff, transporting stuff. It just seems like a more streamlined game, I'm going to say, where it's different mechanisms and different objectives you can complete, instead of Rebellion, where it's like solely on the movie. You're hiding from the Empire. It's more thematic. It's more thematic, Star Wars Rebellion is, than Outer Rim, I would say. But I think Outer Rim is more role-playing. It'd be a lot more fun. So, number 4 is the IP of Star Wars. I want to play them. I want my wife to play with me, before we buy them. Number 4, Star Wars Rebellion and Star Wars Outer Rim. All right, we're at my top 3. My top 3 games that I want to play. Number 3 is the Prodigal Club. Now this game is I'm going to say sequel to Last Will. The Last Will. Now the Last Will I actually own, and it's a really fun game. These two games have the same premise of you're trying to lose to win, which I find very fascinating. If you ever seen the movie Brewster's Millions, it's a little older movie, but you have to lose all your money to win the game, or get the least amount of money to win the game. See, in Last Will, your uncle has passed away and says you can have his millions, billions, if you show that you can spend your money and you can lose it all. And so through the game, you're trying to go on these extravagant trips, go to the theater, buy servants, do this and that. You're trying to spin. It's a really cool concept. And the Prodigals Club is the same way, where you're trying to lose your money, but it adds in, you need to lose an election as well, and you need to lose your friends. And so it seems like it adds more to the game, to Last Will. But why it's on my play list instead of buy list is that I have Last Will. And it seems like they play the same way, but the Prodigals Club adds just a little bit more. So if I buy it, will it replace Last Will? I mean, and if it's the same feeling of a game, is one going to outweigh the other? I don't know. So I want to play it to see if it really changes things, and if I really want to just sell Last Will and just get Prodigals Club. I don't know. It's a game I have to play to see what I think. Alright, number 2 is A Feast for Odin. Now this game is big, and it's a heavy game. It's got this board of actions where you place a worker, and it could be, I think, 60 or so places you can go. And it just looks overwhelming if you don't know how to play it or anything. And so I don't know if I want to buy it. And my wife, it won't be into heavy games. I don't know. She's one to the lighter kind of games, the funner games. When it gets to heavy games, she kind of tunes out a little bit. And so I want to play this game with her and see what we think before we jump in, because I think it's also a longer game as well. And to top it off, it's $80, and so I don't want to spend $80 on a game I'm not going to play. So it looks really fun. I want to play it, want to try it before I buy it. Number 2, Feast for Odin. Alright, my number 1 game I want to play and probably never get to buy. It's Tales of the Arabian Nights. This game looks hilarious. It doesn't matter how it plays. Like, I've seen a couple things, how you play it. That doesn't really interest me. What interests me is the stories. Like, you move to this space, you draw a card, it gives you a scenario, and you choose what you do with that scenario. And it's got this big book of interactions you can take, and then it flips to a page that says, okay, this is what happened. And it's just extravagant stories of, you meet this beggar woman. What do? You push her down, you help her up, you give her an apple. What do you do? Say, oh, Okay, I give her an apple. Okay, this apple transforms her into a dragon because that's what apples do. I don't know. And she eats you up and spits you out, and I don't know. It's just crazy stories, and I just really think it would fit my game group really well of laughing and just cutting up to see what happens to each of us. Doesn't matter who wins or loses. It just looks like a fun game to tell a story one night of crazy things that can happen to you. The reason probably I'll never buy it is it's out of print right now. Hopefully it'll come back into print, but it's not that popular or in demand, so I don't think it'll come back into print. Now, I don't know if this game is worth $350 for just the experience of telling a story, but I know I won't spend that kind of money for it. So hopefully it'll come back into print, or I'll find a cheap version somewhere. Somebody will sell it in a garage sale. I don't know. But if I see this game below, let's say, below $100, I will consider it. I will consider buying it without having to play it. So my number one game I want to play, really want to play, but probably will never buy, Tales of the Arabian Nights. So that's my top 10 games I want to play. What are some games that you really want to play but are hesitant to buy because you don't really know if you'll actually like them? Leave your list in the comments below. If you have anything other to say or talk about, if you have a recommendation on other games you think I might like from this list, or that you've played a lot of these games on this list and you have something to say, please, I want to talk to you. I want to see what games you really like from this list that I might look more into and might consider buying before I play it, you know? Because it's hard to play a game without buying it because there's not a whole lot of game stores around that you can go test games, or game cafes. I have one here in Tulsa, but it's kind of close. It's hit and miss because of the COVID right now. So give me suggestions. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. I also have an Instagram page if you want to come check that out too, Nerdy Pastor. I'll leave a link in the description below. But have fun, guys, playing games. And as always, stay nerdy.